Aloha, everyone. All right, here we are. Aloha, and welcome to the Caring Caregiver Show. I'm your host, Savvy, the founder of Gimme a Break. And I seem to have a little bit of Valentine, probably candy in my throat. And Gimme a Break, of course, is a nonprofit organization that's caring for caregivers just like you. And each week we're here to help caregivers to survive. Now, I know I talk about this all the time, but since none of my guests have shown up yet, I'm going to take a little time to talk about this some more. Let's go over this statistic, shall we? 50% of all caregivers are not going to survive their caregiving journey. You're not going to outlive the one you're caring for. So you're at very high risk. Think about anything else that's 50% of. Now, if you're over the age of 70, that statistic jumps up to 70%. So unacceptable. So our kupuna are at high risk already for health issues and all kinds of things. But now, if they're caregiving as well. So, you know how you hear that in the caregivers, like, Nana, passed away, right? And it's like, they always say soon after the other passes away. And we attribute it to loneliness or, when one goes, the other goes soon after. But what we don't realize is the one that usually goes first, 70% of the time, is the caregiver. So the reason the other one went so quickly was because they weren't there to caregive for them. You as a caregiver are so important in this equation. You are the most primary person in any caregiving journey. If something happens to you, what happens to those you caregive for? So, with February being the month of self-love, I want all the caregivers out there to give yourself a great big hug. And we're going to do that right now. I'm going to show you how to do it. We're going to take our hands. We're going to do what I call the Mr. Miyagi. Clap them together. Right, rub those hands together, get them nice and warm. You can feel that heat. And I want you to think about all the wonderful things that you are and all the wonderful things that you do. And it's okay to do that because you're amazing. And then we're going to take those hands and we're going to put them right here on top of your chest. I'm not sure if you can see me. So I'll lean back a little bit. And then we're going to take a deep breath in through our nose. Push down slightly. And then release. Feel that moment. And you just gave yourself a really big hug. Your brain registered that as a hug. Now, adults need 15 hugs at a minimum a day, you guys. So we're already not getting enough hugs. COVID made it even harder. So give yourself a hug and aspire to give yourself at least 15 hugs a day because you deserve that. Caregivers probably deserve double that, right? So let's beat those odds. And you're going to survive. And we're going to make sure that you survive. That's what we're here for. That's what the Caring Caregiver Show is here for. That's what Gimme a Break is here for. And of course, Giver's Guides, which I'll talk about in a second. And of course, if you need to know anything more about all of that, you can just go to GAB808.org or text us at 808-754-3787. That's what Gimme a Break is here for. And it's on screen for those of you that are watching live and for those of you that are listening later in podcast. I'll say it again, GAB808.org, and text us at 808-754-3787. And one of us will get back to you absolutely within 24 hours. Okay, so I know you're frustrated. I know you're tired, but you can still give yourself a great big hug. And Gimme a Break offers a break currently once a week in our support sessions. And our support sessions are really awesome. They're free, they're online, so no excuses. They don't cost a penny, and it's easy to access. You can tune in on your phone, your pad, or even on your PC and get on Zoom. Just download the app every Tuesday evening at 8 p.m. There we go, on screen right now. And you can just tune in. You know what it is? This is your caregiver safe space. Anything goes. We're not a bunch of professionals. Nobody's going to get in your head. This is just really about you as a caregiver and community, and joining in a community of caregivers just like you. We know what you're going through, and it's okay. Like I said, you're a safe space to say anything, And right now we're going through Caregiver Survival Kit, and yesterday we talked about support and a very different angle for looking at support and how you're not asking for help. And so we had a great discussion about it. And I think that it really helped. The caregivers shared a lot of what was going on with their families and their support team. And, we need this. So, you can tune in next week, because I'm not going to give away all the great details. You gotta show up. So tune in next Tuesday at 8 p.m. And a great news, we are really, really close now. We probably are going to be announcing it by the end of this month. Our second support session for those of you who tune in from the continental US and other time zones, that will be starting on Tuesdays as well, but will probably be closer to your time in the morning or in the afternoon. So we're just have to agree on the time, but it'll be a time that you all can tune right in, and it won't be late at night at like 11 or 1 o'clock in the morning anymore. So it'll be an earlier in the day Tuesday session, and really close to doing that. So stay tuned, because that will be announced by the end of this month. Really excited about it. And that's going to be a second session for all of you that I know have been staying up really late. So it'll be a nice thing. Just remember, again, that's your safe space and it's your community. And that's what Gimme a Break is really here for. That's what we do. In fact, we're doing a Valentine's Day Kupuna over 70 caregivers pamper session at the Anchor Church this Friday. So we're really excited to be able to pamper all of those wonderful caregivers there. And we have our roses from the Cupid crew. Thank you, AARP, that will be presenting to all of those wonderful, wonderful caregivers. And we're really excited to be able to pamper you. So can't wait to see you all this weekend, this Friday. All right. So with that, the Caring Caregiver Show is also sponsored by, and let me get that off the screen, right? By Givers Guides. And Givers Guides is your caregivers' guides to caregiving. So it's written by caregivers for caregivers from a caregiver's point of view. You can't get better than that, right? In fact, being that today is, by the way, Happiest Love Day, today, sending out a big hug to all of you. We just had our great big hug, which is wonderful, and to all the caregivers out there. But this month's issue is really designed to help you to practice self-love. There are self-love tips. There are all kinds of ways that you can find a moment and really understand the heart of self-care. But there's articles and fun games. I wanted to share also. Let me take this off and put this up on the screen. I hope you can see it. But I found this wonderful website called Self-Love Rainbow. And, you guys, it's just selfloverainbow.com. By all means, please check it out. There's some great things there. And I was looking for an activity and I stumbled on it, and it's just a great website. And I tried contacting them. I hope I can get them on the show one day. But, there's this great thing that says how to show yourself love. And there's just these wonderful tips. And this is actually in our Givers Guides issue this month. So for all of you who sign up and get your subscription before this month is over, this month will be free. Your subscription will start with the March issue. So sign up today. Go to giversguides.com. Super easy. Just type in Givers, Givers, Guides, another S. So giversguides.com. Go there, click on the subscribe button, get your subscription. $24.99 for the year, you guys. It's like $2 a month. It's 1 cup of coffee. 1 cup of coffee less is fine. You can deal with it. So $2 a month, and all of that, the proceeds go to Gimme a Break to support all the things that we do, to pay for things like the pamper session we're doing for some 40 to 60 kupuna this Friday. So all of those help fund what we continue to do with Give Me a Break. And it's a lot. So check us out. Get your subscription. There you go. Okay, it is episode 2 of season 11. And, we also had some guests that were supposed to be on the show today. And unfortunately, none of my guests made it. That's okay, because one of them did actually cancel, and we rescheduled Leilani to talk about Medicare. She's going to be on at the end of March. In fact, the season finale on the 27th of March, she'll be back on. So she had a family emergency, and that's fine. And I was hoping that a couple of our other guests would be here because our musical guest was going to be playing those crystal bowls, that you really love. But that's okay. I found a video of him, and at the end of the show, you'll get to listen to that as we fade out. And I'm still hoping that at one point during my talking, Abina Apau will show up, because I really wanted to share her caregiving story with all of you. And I know she was very excited to be on today. But, again, a lot of people are getting the time difference wrong, because it is not daylight savings time yet. And so that extra hour, by the way, that's what happened to Richard Hirsch last week. I found out was that they assumed it was daylight savings, and he joined in an hour later. So I've rescheduled him as well. He'll be back in, I think, next month. In the beginning of March. So in a couple of weeks, you'll be able to find out about that Kanega watch I talked about, which is really amazing. A watch that is an alert, kind of like that, I've fallen and I can't get up alert alarm. It's a watch that does that. And watches are a wonderful way to be able to get that alert, and something that I know a lot of our older ones and a lot of those who need care, they may forget a lot of things, but they'll always put their watch on, right? So really interesting to meet and talk with him. Okay, so with that, where are we? Oh boy, look at that. We've only been on for 12 minutes, and I still don't see her. So I'm hoping she got the link correct and she's able to get on the show. Let me check and see if she's texted me or emailed me. Nope. But I can tell you, I am excited to talk to her. I met her when I was at the National Caregiving Summit in Washington, D.C. this past October, and was so impressed by her heart that I really wanted to have her on the show. She's a caregiving coach and does a lot of wonderful things to help caregivers because of her journey. You can all relate to that. And so I hope that we can she'll join before the time is up, or we'll have to just reschedule her to come talk to you. But really love for you to be able to hear her story. And again, we never know, right? We never know what happens with time, and not everyone's ready for that. Okay. And by the way, if any of you need to get a hold of Leilani Sullivan about Medicare and you have questions, just give her a call. Her number, and get a pencil and paper, because I'm going to just give it to you. I don't have it on screen. I wasn't ready to give you her number. So her number is 808-736-0008. Again, it is 808-736-0008. So you can absolutely talk to her. Oh my God, I just I just had a vision. Okay, so you know me in movies. Anybody saw The Princess Diaries? You might remember it, old movie. So Princess Diaries, her best friend has a show, and she invites her on. When she finds out she's a princess, she invites her onto the show, and she never shows up, and she sits there talking. Yeah, that's what I'm doing right now. So there you go. I just had an epiphany. Anyway, all right. So with that, let me just talk to you a little bit more about what's going on with Gimme a Break and where we're going to be going, and all the wonderful things you can kind of plan for, but especially the really big one. The really big one is going to happen in July. And every July we do our Shine a Light charity walk. And our Shine a Light charity walk is really about creating awareness. We do it in the early evening because it's a glow up walk. So you bring your glow sticks and you go along with the walk, and that's what it's really about. It's about shining that light, because every light that shines shows a caregiver that someone cares. And they're not alone, and they're not in the darkness alone, and that we do see them. And that's why we do the walk. And of course, it's a big fundraiser for us as well to help us continue to do what we do. This year, we are going to be having it out at Magic Island, the Ala Moana Beach Park. I am so excited to have it out at at Magic Island and doing it outdoors, because also we're going to have the most fantastic sunset. So we will be doing it right at sunset at 5 o'clock and till 7 o'clock. And so from the sunset to the dark, we'll be glowing and walking, and there'll be all kinds of activities. Super excited about that. Stay tuned for the release date and all of the important details. But that's coming up. And that's going to be really, really exciting. We're also waiting to get final confirmation on our Caregivers Expo. I know all of you are expecting it for March, but we will probably be pushing it back to June this year. You know, with COVID release and everything lifted, all of a sudden everything got booked. So it's been a little tough. We have to run a little more ahead of time to book venues. And it's been kind of tough for us. So, gosh, if you know of any other venues, please contact us and let us know as well. All right. Well, it looks like today's going to be a short show, because you're not going to have to sit here listening to me for 30 minutes. So I hope that eventually I'll be able to get those wonderful guests to you and you'll be able to benefit from that. But I especially want to thank them for trying, because I know that's a hard thing and with the time zone. But in the meantime, you know, there's some great articles you can read. So use this time to get your subscription and get on to the Giver's Guides magazine, because this month's issue has some really good pointers, you know, about being able to self-care and self-love. And I hope you do that, because you are worth it. And you are doing the best you can, and that is enough. So caregivers, please practice self-love. Please give yourself that great big hug. And again, in the meantime, get your subscription, because that will really help you get through it. You know, it's an online, right? It's an online flip book. So you don't have to carry a magazine around with you. One, we are lessening our carbon footprint. That's why we do it. The other is you can take it with you anywhere you go. So if you can't be home, or you forgot your magazine, or you have too many things to carry, you could be at the doctor's office with your carry on your iPad or on your phone, reading an article and helping you to survive caregiving. It's all about your wellness. That's why we do it online. It's a fun little flip book. Listen carefully when you go through it, because you'll hear the pages flip. It's a really cool thing. You absolutely should check it out. $24.99. Profits go to Gimme a Break. You're doing a great thing. Now, next week on the show, we will have Jasmina below, and maybe I'll reschedule a couple of the people who are supposed to be on today. And also just this beautiful soul that I met at the summit as well. And her name is Laura Blessing. And she's going to share her caregiving story. And it's a story that I know you can all relate to. However, it's one that will inspire you. And of course, we're going to have the return of Audrey and her mindful moments. So I'm really excited to get Audrey back. So set a reminder on your phone to tune in every day at 12 o'clock. And every Wednesday, just put that reminder, Caring Caregiver Show. And if you don't want to type all that out, just put CCS. That's us. Okay, you don't want to miss it. And of course, you can always go back and listen to us on podcast and audio, or go to the Caring Caregiver website to listen to audio or to watch any of the past episodes. We are also on Olelo TV 53. So thank you to those of you who've been seeing us and telling me, oh my God, it just warms my heart to know that caregivers are hearing and connecting to the resources that we put out to you. So that's really the goal, and that's why we're here every week. If you need more information, just go to gab808.com.org, and we will be there for you as well. And stay connected. Don't forget to check out our support sessions. We're here for you every Tuesday evening. I hope some of you come on next Tuesday at 8:08. And in the meantime, please remember, you are worth it. Breathe. And here's hoping that you're finding more joy in your caregiving every week, right here on the Caring Caregiver Show. Thanks. Be kind to yourself. Happy Love Day. And don't forget your hug. Aloha, everyone.